So I'm going to use that as a segue into the next part of the reading, which deals heavily with your romance, love, and relationships, okay? I feel like some of you who are in a relationship feels a little bit crowded by in-laws, okay? So you're in a relationship and you could be dating them, you could be married to them, and you're feeling kind of crowded by your family or their family. And I feel like more your partner's family. You feel like too many people are involved in your business and too many, too many people telling you what you should, or like, imposing their expectations upon you. So either child rearing practices or even how to be a good mother or father. And so it seems like a very crowded environment. And what I'm also feeling as well is some of you, if you're dealing with that, you just want to tell your partner, hey, let's move out of state, let's be away from them. But I feel like you're thinking that, but you're not going to tell them that because you don't want, you know how important family is. So I feel that coming through when I was shuffling. And let's talk about this card here. So the Judgment card, as it relates to your relationship, this is new beginnings, okay? New opportunities coming through. Whatever has left your life, it's created a void, and the universe is going to fill that void with something else, and something that is usually going to be a lot better for you. So they're telling you, leave the past behind. You're starting over, and you're starting over this month, this year, okay? So no matter what, you are starting over. And this is a message that I gave to Cancer as well, because I feel like they needed to close some doors. And I feel from your end, you have closed those doors. You're waiting for the new to begin. And I feel like the new is going to begin first in your romantic sector. It's going to bring somebody very positive into your life so that you can then, work on the other areas of your life. Okay. So Leos, let me talk about the past, because I feel like you've been through some bad things. We have the Lovers in the reverse position. So the Lovers is a situation where we are very, very magnetically drawn to another person. We are very attracted to another person. And this is a card that indicates a lot of chemistry, a lot of sexual energy, a lot of passion, and a lot of lust. In the reverse position, it basically means two people who are so incompatible that it would, take a miracle for things to work out. And a lot of the times, opposites attract. And so I feel like opposites create a lot of excitement, but also a lot of friction. And this is an instance where two people are so incompatible that it just wasn't going to work out. And I feel a lot of you might have been involved here with an air sign. Aquarius, Gemini, or Libra. This is not a bad person. This is somebody who's just not affectionate the way that you want to be. Because I feel like you and the other two fire signs, Aries and Sagittarius, you need a lot of, I almost want to say like ego stroking. It has to be sincere though, because you will know if someone is being insincere with their compliments. But I feel that, you need a lot of hands-on touching compliments and affection, like, public display of affection. And you were dealing with somebody who couldn't give you that, either because they're just not brought up that way, where parents show them affection, and as a result they feel a little bit awkward having to show affection. This is also indicative of somebody who's very I want to say logical and rational. They operate on the higher chakras, so their head, they're a thinker. And they love to have conversations, and I feel like you need a lot of affection from them, and they couldn't give it to you. And as a result of it, the two people were not compatible in relationship. Their needs were mutually not met. So this might not be a bad person, but it's just there are so many differences within the relationship, and it made it very difficult for you to stay together. The Lovers in the reverse often indicate situation where there might have been, outside negative interference. So once again, I'm seeing in-laws, like a lot of people involved and, butting into your business with this person. And as a result of that, it couldn't work out. And then, you know, on the most extreme end, there might have been some type of third party involved, like stepping out on a relationship and things like that from your end or from their end. And as a result of it, the relationship fell apart. Okay. Which brings us to the present situation. Your foundation is something that you already know, and you're coming into the month of January with this knowledge. Okay. So you already know this. We have here the Four of I'm sorry, this is the Four of Swords, as well as the Nine of Pentacles. I feel like, let me see. Let's talk about this first. The Four of Swords in the reverse is, this is kind of like stoppage in communication, okay? And when it's in the reverse position, it's basically resuming communication. So there might be some type of communication coming through between you and that person that we were dealing with before as it relates to money. You might have like unresolved business between the two of you, pertaining to like finances, pertaining to joint custody, like practical responsibilities between you and this person. It's not over yet. And you're still going to have to deal with them and communicate with them in order to resolve some things. So there might have been some resentment and stoppage in communication for the past few weeks, I would say, like the past few months, the past few weeks. And then the communication is resuming once again, but it's more like financially, you know, centered, okay? Child custody, alimony, or even like joint assets, joint finances that needs to be extracted cleanly between two people, but it's not happening, or at least discussions about this needs to happen for this month because you're starting a new phase. So you need to initiate this contact in order to sever that cord of attachment for good because you're starting a new phase. Okay, Leos? So this is something you know you have to do, but I feel like you're procrastinating because I feel almost as if this person might be quite difficult to deal with for some of you. They're very intelligent. They can, I feel like they can outmaneuver you is what I'm sensing. So you're a little bit careful about, you know, re-engaging with them because you feel like, oh, it's such a difficult process. Okay. So I feel like that's the issue here. Additionally, what I'm sensing is a lot of you have left this relationship behind and you're coming into the month of January, excuse me, where you are thinking about, you know, how do I put myself out there? How can I meet new people? So you're not, you know, you're not going to play like the spinster anymore. You're actually going to get out there and you're going to, you know, show love and affection and to attract new people into your life. I feel like for those of you who are doing that, be very careful because I feel like your financial situation after that divorce, after that breakup, I feel that you're not financially sound on your own. And you might be wanting to, you know, attract love, but when you're not financially sound as your foundation, you're not going to attract high quality people that will form healthy relationships with you. So I feel like it's a little bit problematic, like using, you know, wanting to meet new people to distract yourself from practical responsibilities when it pertains to your financial situation. So be careful about that, okay? Take a little bit more time, stabilize your work life, stabilize your finances, stabilize your situation before you get back out there in the dating game, okay? Crowning this reading is something you are thinking about. We do have the Death card, and the Death card is once again do-over, you know, like moving on, not looking back, and hitting that reset button in your romantic life so that, you know, you're leaving the past behind, you're moving on, and you're moving on for good, but there's still some type of financial entanglement I feel that you're still dealing with. And in the process of thinking about moving on, I feel that you feel very free. You feel very lighthearted. You feel very optimistic, and you're just like, you're moving forward. Some of you are carrying a torch for somebody. So that means, you know, having somebody in your life that you feel you have a crush on. Okay. So you're thinking about somebody heavily. You're thinking about a new person. So you're literally carrying a torch for somebody. And so this brings us into the present situation here. We have here the Five of Swords, an end to conflict, an end to strife. And I feel that, you know, if you're waiting on some custody issue or financial extraction from another person, It's going to come to an end. It's going to get resolved for this month, and there will be some type of new news and new information and news coming to light. Okay. We have as well the Ace of Coins, and the Ace of Coins is basically new relationship that has a lot of potential to grow, but it requires mutual cooperation and nurturing from both parties. Okay, so we have here, I feel like you are carrying a torch for somebody, and you have somebody in mind that has either solicited you for dating, and I feel like you might have another fire sign, so Sagittarius, an Aries, or a Leo. And what is coming through as well is I feel that for some of you, this new person has the potential to grow. It has the potential to build, and it has the potential to be something of value. And so it's really up to you to, nurture it. But I feel that your financial foundation is a little bit rocky right now, so you might not be ready to date just yet. Okay? Take it very, very slowly, because the Knight of Wands is somebody who rushes in very, very quickly, and they rush in fast and they burn out fast. So it's going to be a very short dating stint rather than a long-term relationship if you're not careful. What is coming through in your future? We do have the High Priestess in the reverse, as well as the Two of Wands. Here's what I'm sensing. Okay, so I feel like a lot of you left a significant relationship. You're coming into this month single. You have somebody coming through, another fire sign. You're very compatible with them, but I feel like they travel around a lot. They move around a lot. And I feel that, I feel like this is somebody who's a little bit impulsive. And so you might want to you might feel like, okay, I need a distraction. And so, or you might even say like, okay, I've been single enough. I've been through this ordeal from the past. I'm not going to play single anymore. I'm going to go out there and look for people to date. And I feel what's happening is you encounter this energy, and there might be some warning signs. This is a very exciting, attractive person, and I feel that you're easily swept off your feet because they're charming. They have a good heart. They're lighthearted. They're enthusiastic. They're very optimistic. But I feel like there are some warning signs that this is not going to be a long-term relationship. Okay? But I feel that you're going ahead with it because we have the Two of Wands, which is a partnership card. And I feel that some of you, this person might be from far away. And so you're moving ahead with them, having some type of a long distance relationship. Okay? And then for others, especially for those of you who are coupled up, there has been some disputes in the past regarding income. So there might have been some financial issues affecting your relationship with your significant other. You're coming into the conclusion that, one person might need to work, or both parties need to work, and both parties need to manage their assets, like their finances, their earnings, and things like that, separately. And so that's what you're going to decide to do. So I feel like, a lot more stability, a lot more compromise for those of you who are coupled up. For those who are single, I feel a short-term relationship, okay, rather than a long-term relationship, because I feel like your financial foundation is a little bit shaky. And so that needs to be focused on. That is one area where you need to really look at it, okay? And I feel like a lot of you are, they're saying carrying a torch for a friend. They're saying carrying a torch for a friend. If you have just gotten out of a relationship, and I feel that, you've always been eyeing your friend, and you're just like, do I go there? Do I, risk the friendship? And I feel that the feelings are being reciprocated. So I feel like you're going to form a relationship with a friend. If you have just gotten out of a long relationship, you're going to start dating a friend of yours. Okay.